Good morning. Welcome to Sealand News Brief. This week is the 10th week of the year. Today is March 9th. Let's take a look at the 30-year fixed rate mortgage rate. Well, this week, the same as last week, 3.99. It's good. At least it doesn't go over 4.0. So still we see 3.99. And meantime, 10-year treasury yield went up a little bit. So possibly next week, the interest rate may go up. We don't know yet. But we didn't see here, but one time 10-year treasury yield went over 2.0, went over. But now is kind of slowed down a little bit because of the war between Russia and Ukraine, and there's kind of instability in the stock market as well, and the oil price went up like crazy, and so when the market is not stable, then the tendency to buy U.S. Treasury bond, because that's the most safest investment in the world. And then you invest more money, then yield is down, going down a little bit. Okay, so I think that's what's happening temporarily. Yeah, we'll see that. Okay. And the first news we want to take a look at is local news. Again, Palisades Park, Mayor Chung was dropped from Democratic Party's nomination for a mayor candidate for the primary election in June. It's very unusual. The current mayor could not be nominated for the party's the next candidate. Okay, it is very rare, and instead the Democratic Party nominated Paul Kim. Paul Kim is councilman, and I know he has also real estate license, so he becomes the Democratic Party's choice for mayor candidate for the primary election in June, and the formal election will be in November this year. So Mr. Chung, the current mayor, Mr. Chung will have to run by himself without party's official support. 그 팔팍의 로컬 뉴스인데요. 지금 정 시장, 크리스토퍼 정 시장님이 이번에 민주당에서 경선을 위한 그 캔디데이트로 지정이 되지 못했고 떨어졌어요. 그리고 대신에 폴 킴 시의원이 민주당 경선 대표로 지정이 됐다. 좀 unusual한 시츄에이션이 벌어졌는데, 그래서 지금 정 시장님은 혼자 뛰어야 된다. 그러니까 당의 서포트가 없이 뛰어야 된다. 아무튼 나오는 거죠. 계속 시장 캔디데이트로. Okay, the next news is this was interesting news from state census report. They kind of reported the ratio between the property tax and income level of each town. And interesting enough, so this means it's the higher number means higher burden. Okay, so the Palisades Park is the highest ratio in terms of, so that means Palisades Park has the heaviest burden, the tax burden compared to income level. Okay, so Palisades Park is number one. Palisades Park average tax is $10,153, with the average income is $92,180. So the ratio is 11%. So that's a top in Bergen County area. And the second town is Fort Lee, and the average income is $112,135. So Fort Lee tax burden is 10.2%. What about Tenafly? Average tax is $21,966. Average income is $225,838. So the tax burden is 9.7%. Okay, so look at the income, average income difference. Tenafly is $225,000, and Fort Lee is $112,000, and Palisades Park is $92,000. And the Edgewater is the lowest burden compared to income, average income. So Edgewater is only 7.1%. And the town average tax is $10,791, and average income is $151,488. The highest income level is actually Demarest. Demarest has high average income of $239,516, and average tax is $21,983. So tax burden is only 9.1%, versus Palisades Park is 11%. So that's the ratio between the tax and income, average income. 그 스테이트 센서스의 재밌는 통계가 오늘 신문에 보도됐는데요. 일종의 텍스 짐이죠. 레이쇼를 냈어요. 인컴 대비 텍스, 프로퍼티 텍스, average income 타운에. 근데 팔팍이 제일 힘든 타운이다. 텍스 내기에 11%가 나왔어요. 여기 통계는 다 나와 있고요. 그다음에 포틀리도 그 다음 세컨드로 해서 10.2%, 10% 정도 되고요. 참고로 테너플라이는 텍스는 제일 높은 타운인데, 그죠? 텍스는 제일 높은데, 데마레스트하고도 비슷한데, 텍스 자체는. 그런데 인컴이 높기 때문에, 에버리지 인컴이 22만 5천이 되기 때문에, 레이시오는 9.7%. 근데 제일 그 버든이 작은 게 인컴 대비 Edgewater였대요. 7.1%. average tax는 10만 불이 좀 넘는데 average income이 15만 1,000불 정도 된다. 그 통계상 그 몇 개 나와 있는 타운 중에서 가장 high average income은 데머레스트였어요. 23만 9천, 한 24만 불이 되네요. average household income이 데머레스트에. 그 타운에 검토한 타운에 알파인은 안 들어가 있어서 데마레스트가 그중 제일 인컴이 높은 타운이었어요. average tax는 2만 1,000이어서 tax burden은 약 9.1%가 된다. Okay, the next news is Governor Murphy unveils plan for big property tax rebates. This is good news for New Jersey homeowners. He announced Thursday his admin will extend the property tax relief to about 1.8, 1.8 homeowners, households by replacing the state's homestead benefit program. We used to have a homestead benefit program, but now they're going to replace, and it's a much generous money given out. Under the new program, the NJ homeowners making up, let's say, $250,000 income would be eligible to receive average $700 rebate in the first year. And renters also will get the money. Let's say their household income is 100,000, then they will be eligible for a rebate up to $250 to help offset the cost of rent increase. And the governor says the 1.15 million homeowners and about 600,000 renters will get the benefit. And also today's record reported, Governor Murphy is the record high budget, $49 billion to support the broad property tax rebate program and increase the funding for schools and healthcare. But he said we're not going to raise property tax and also NJ transit fares. So how they're going to do, it's going to be interesting. So the Democratic-led legislature has to approve his budget, $4.89 billion budget. And fiscal year ends June 30th. So we will see, they will approve. 호모러들에게 좋은 뉴스죠. 전에도 홈스테이 베네핏 프로그램이 있긴 있었는데 이번에 그걸 아주 상당히 늘려서 700불 가량 25만 불 정도 그 하우스홀드 인컴이 있는 가정에 에버리지 한 700불 정도가 리베이시 간다. 그리고 렌터들은 한 10만 불 버는 가정에 한 250불 정도 캐시로 들어가는 그런 리베이 프로그램을 발표를 했고요. 오늘 레코드지에서 얘기했지만 다들 아시지만은 지금 한 거의 50 빌리언에 가까운 바짓을 지금 준비를 했고 그래서 데모크래틱이 다수당인데 지금 현재 국회에서 통과가 되면 주국회에서 통과가 되면 6월 30일이 피스컬 이어에서 끝나고 이제 시작이 된다. 그래서 뉴저지의 아마 그 affordable home 그러니까 low income housing이 굉장히 improve 될 것 같아요. 한번 좀 기대를 해볼 수 있을 것 같고요. Okay. The next news is in 1 week, the West cut off Putin's economy. Well, simply saying Russia is in deep trouble. A little bit more than 2 weeks ago, Russia's company could sell their goods around the globe and take in investments from overseas stock index funds. And its citizens could buy MacBooks and Toyotas at home and freely spend their rubles abroad. But now, soon after Russia invaded Ukraine, another war began to isolate its economy and pressure President Putin. So Western government sanctioned the country's banking system, okay? And also even more, the financial systems took over and severed practically every artery of money between Russia and the rest of the world. So right now, Russia faces a repeat of one of the most painful episodes in its post-Soviet history and the financial crisis of 1998. When its economy collapsed overnight at the time. So they are facing similar situation right now in Russia. The ruble has lost more than 25% of its value. So let's say 100 ruble, okay, the money becomes a 75 ruble, for instance, now. So value degraded. And now virtually useless outside of Russia. In other words, nobody want to take the ruble anymore. The Western firms are refusing to exchange it or process overseas transactions. Moscow's stock exchange was closed for 5th straight day on Friday. Sounds like they're in deep trouble. Whether investors will be able to sell the Russian assets they hold is less clear. For instance, Norway's largest pension fund, the KLP Group, planned to dump the Russian stocks this week. With the Moscow exchange still closed, it has resorted to selling shares of companies with a dual listing in London. Looks like they had a listing in Moscow, but they had to do a listing in London. This company runs about 70 billion fund. And today's New York Times reported, after 30 years of operation in Russia, McDonald's will cease the operation. And the McDonald's had 62,000 employees at over 800 communities in Russia. So they're going to stop and come back. 지금 러시아가 one week 사이에 완전히 지금 아주 우리말로 하자면 초토화됐다 그럴까요? 다른 거보다도 financially, 그렇죠? 이 sanction이 들어가니까 지금 다른 컴퍼니들도 많이 철수하고 있지만 은행들이 딱 동맥을 꽉 쥐어잡으니까 약 한 뭐 2주, 3주 사이에 지금 그런 현상이 벌어져가지고 푸틴한테는 지금 아주 큰 프레셔가 지금 가고 있다. 지금 상황이 어떻게 될지 조금 더 두고 봐야 되겠지만, 그렇죠? 루블을 누가 바꿔주는 사람도 없고, 가치가 한 25% 지금 떨어졌다고 벌써. 더 문제는 이제 러시안 그 스탁, 러시안 컴퍼니들 스탁이라든지 이런 거를 팔아치워야 되는데, 이븐 모스코의 스탁 익스체인지가 5일 동안 문을 닫아버렸다. 지금 상당히 곤란한 처지에 있다. 파이낸셜리 아주 숨통을 콱 이제 잡고 숨을 못 쉬게 이제 하게 되는 상태가 되니까 지금 러시아에서는 그러니까 소비에트 유니언이 무너지고 나서 가장 페인풀한 그 상황을 이제 겪고 있다. 이제 그런 지금 뉴스가 들어와 있고요. 오늘 뉴스에 다 보도가 됐지만은 맥도날드가 이제 철수한다. 맥도날드가 30년 동안 거기서 오퍼레이션을 했다고 그래요. 그런데 인플로이가 62,000명에 한 800개 도시에 맥도날드가 들어가 있었다. 그런 뉴스가 지금 들어와 있고요. Okay, the next news is, well, in US job market, we are doing very good. But that means there's a lot of openings, but not enough the work power. That's kind of a situation. And Labor Department on Friday reported the economy added 678,000 jobs in February, better than the economy's forecast. Economists forecasted 440,000, but it's way over exceed that number. And the February job addition is 678,000 jobs. So we're doing super in terms of a job creation. And the problem is we could not find the workforce. Okay? Unemployment rate slipped 3.8% from January's 4%. Okay. And well, the situation is getting better because COVID-19 cases have continued to fall, decreased, and now at their lowest level since July nationally, and they appear likely to keep heading lower. So that's good, okay? And so that should make working far less worrisome. Okay, we don't worry anymore. And so they can come back to work, while also reducing COVID-19 related classroom closures. Okay, that means the student will go to school more and more, and parents will be free, the moms will be free, and they can come back to work. In particular, more women in their 20s and 30s who have experienced some of the greatest career disruptions as a result of pandemic should be able to return to work. So all this is good. But still, the people coming back to work into labor force, and if employment soon returns to the equivalent of a pre-pandemic level, even though still there won't be much slack. And so if employment keeps growing like this, it has, by this summer, the job market will be either extraordinarily tight, very difficult to get actual people to workforce. This summer is going to be very tough. 지금 미국이 굉장히 상황이 좋죠. job market은. 그래서 job creation이 2월 달만 해도 예상을 훨씬 더 넘었다. 67만 8천 job이 새로이 이제 add가 됐거든요. 노동국에 의하면, 발표에 의하면. 근데 경제학자들이 포커스한 거는 44만밖에 없었다. 근데 그게 거의 뭐 2배는 아니지만 2배 가까이 그렇게 늘어났고, 현재 지금 unemployment rate, 실업률은 3.8%. January 4%였는데 2월 달에 또 줄었어요. 3.8%로 줄었다. 그래서 지금 코비드가 많이 죽어가면서 또 학생들이 학교를 많이 가면서 젊은 엄마 그 제너레이션도 이제 일하러 갈 수도 있고 많이 이제 이게 완화가 돼서 그래서 이제 사람들 찾기가 조금 더 나아질 것 같지만 지금 이 페이스로 간다면 잡이 계속 우리가 애드되고 그러면 썸머에 가서는 굉장히 타이트해질 것 같다. 사람들 구하는 게. 그런 지금 뉴스가 월스트리트 저널에 지금 들어와 있었고요. Okay. The next news is interesting kind of phenomena. Hotels welcome super commuters. Instead of renting the apartment, they go to hotel. So they call them super commuters. And so as the pandemic drags into the third calendar year, remote work shifted to hybrid model. Employees who moved to suburbs or even farther are becoming fixtures at the city hotels. This interesting expression, they become hotel fixtures, where they are establishing comfortable bolt holes after the commute for meetings that cannot be taken over Zoom. Now, a lot of companies keep asking, come back to work, come back to office. So they cannot carry on the meetings over Zoom anymore. So they have to come to work, but it's very difficult to get the rent because rent is very high. The apartment rent is very high. So it's kind of a smart way to get the bolt holes in a hotel, some place, to just hang on, because the daytime the hotel uses a hotel room is cheaper than rent an apartment. That's the situation. And so hotel eager to tap into this new market while still having yet to recover from the blow of 2020s. Hotels is struggling right now. They are crafting new packages designed especially for them, for super commuters, with amenities like parking, conference rooms, and low midweek rates to sweeten the deal, because weekend they don't have to stay. Weekend they can go home. So only during weekdays and daytime. Very interesting. I mean, so not only daytimes but weekdays accommodation, and so that's kind of a smart idea. And of course, the rent of a apartment, rent price is skyrocketing. Nationally, the cost to lease an apartment is up more than 10%. And in the cities like Boston and Orlando, they've jumped more than 25%. So have made regular hotel stays a more affordable option. 지금 새로운 트렌드가 하나 나왔는데요. 그 사람들 별명이 슈퍼 커뮤터인데, 이제 다시들 막 돌아오라고 이제 자꾸 그러죠, 사무실들이. 지금 코로나도 이제 뭐 다 이제 끝나가는 그런 무드고, 뭐 오늘 신문에는 그 아주 죽는 거는 아니고 코로나가 그래도 이제 어느 정도는 지금 스테이할 거다. 뭐 이런 얘기도 좀 나오긴 하지만 아무튼 전반적인 분위기가 그러니까 자꾸 이제 회사 나와야 되는데 줌으로도 더 이상 이제 힘들고 그런데 이미 서버브로 이사 나간 사람들도 많고 교외 지역으로. 근데 지금 다시 렌트를 얻어 들어오기도 힘들고 또 렌트가 엄청 비싸졌죠. 뭐 에버리지 네이션와이드 10%가 올라갔다. 뭐 빅도시 버스턴이나 올랜도 같은 데는 25%가 올라갔다. 렌트가 지금 그러니까 거듭 얘기지만 그래서 렌트 마켓을 보는 인베스터들은 아주 좋은 타임이다. 골든 타임이다. 그런 얘기를 여러 번 말씀드렸죠. 그래서 이것도 지금 그러한 요인 중에 하나인데 렌트가 너무 비싸지니까 이제 어떻게 된다? 호텔을 이제 들어가기 시작했다. 그래서 호텔에 윅데이 레이스로 이제 싸게 잘 해서 호텔들도 또 그런 오퍼를 많이 하고 윅데이는 호텔 가서 스테이하고 뭐 방 조금 해도 되니까 그죠? 잠만 대충 자고 쉬고 출근했다가 주말에는 이제 집으로 가는 그러한 패턴들이 생기기 시작했다. 호텔들이 그 마켓을 지금 타겟으로 해가지고 싼 딜 이제 많이 만들고 이렇게 스윗하게 딜을 지금 만들고 있다. 그래서 그런 사람들을 우리가 슈퍼 커뮤터라고 부른다. 그런 지금 트렌드가 하나 또 있고요. Wow. Next news is gasoline price is unbelievable right now. What? $4 173 cents. And I was surprised, you know, it moves up very quickly. And so we're getting pressure, okay? So if you put the gas, then naturally it might affect other spending. So the national average gas for regular gasoline hits 4.173 a gallon, surpassing the previous record of 4.114 reached in July 2008, AAA reported. And this price was 15% higher than a week, so that's why we can see like a jump every day, and 21% higher than a month earlier. And of course, the reason is the war between Ukraine and Russia. Russia is one of the biggest oil producers in the world. As attacks in Ukraine intensified, the traders, shippers, and financiers shunned the Russian oil, removing much of it from the daily global supply. And roughly, in U.S. case, 8% of U.S. crude oil imports and refined products came from Russia last year. So U.S. government is trying to alternatives. And I think they mentioned once they can release the strategic oil reserve. Of course, U.S. has a lot of oil reserve on the ground, so they have to tap to that reserve or not. I think it's about time to Biden admin has to decide. And I think we hear some news mentioning about that. 지금 오일 프라이스가 뭐 날마다 눈에 띄게 달라지는 현상인데요. 지금 4자를 벌써 본 지가 하루 이틀 된 것 같고요. 밖에 지금 그 광고판에 그리고 디젤인가요? 5자가 붙은 것 같아요. 그죠? 디젤이 더 비싼가요? 네. 아무튼 그래서 지금 러시아 상황 때문에 지금 이제 오일 값이 지금 올라가고 있는데 배럴당은 얼마나 올라갔죠? 막 130불 브렌트 오일 값이. 그렇게 지금 올라갔는데 뭐 일주일 전보다 15% 올라갔고 한 달 전보다는 21% 올라갔다. 그리고 러시아가 물론 이제 오일 생산국이죠. One of the biggest oil 생산국인데 지금 보니까 트레이더, 쉬퍼들, 이제 파이낸서들이 러시안 오일을 지금 컷오프 해버리니까 지금 상당히 서플라이에 우리가 지금 고통을 겪고 있다. 그리고 미국의 경우는 러시아에서 들어오는 그 원유나 리파이너리 프로덕트이 약 8%를 차지했어요. 작년에. 그런 뉴스가 지금 들어와 있습니다. Okay, the next news is this is also interesting news. Looks like a lot of investors are looking into investment in real estate area. App backed by ex-WeWork CEO Newman makes a Sunbelt play. This is the title, but you know the Adam Newman, right? He's the co-founder of WeWork, okay? And he invested money into a company, the Alfred Club. They make app, the application platform that connects high-end apartment renters with the services such as personal shoppers and home cleaners. Okay, and he was the biggest backer of this company, and this company is buying RKW Residential. It is a Charlotte, North Carolina based. It's a property management firm. Okay, they purchased. They didn't disclose how much they paid. Okay, so the Alfred, the biggest backer of this company is co-founder Adam Newman. And the RKW operates a 30,000 unit portfolio of apartment and single-family homes in fast-growing markets across the Southeast. The amount, the purchase amount, is not disclosed. And Newman acquired a major stake in Alfred in 2020, investing $30 million. So he invested $30 million to Alfred Club, who makes the application platform that app connects the high-end apartment renters with the services like personal shoppers and home cleaners, etc. Okay, and that company is buying this property management company, RKW Residential. So, and he added to that recently as a part of Alfred 125 million fundraising round led by real estate investment company Rialto Capital. So Newman is now looking into this property management companies, RKW Residential. In this company, they operate 30,000 unit portfolio. 30,000 unit. Can you imagine 30,000 unit apartment and single family homes? As I mentioned numerous times these days, money guys, they are looking into single family homes as an investment vehicle. They're purchasing thousands of single family homes and they don't sell it. They what? Keep them and they're renting out because they can get the rent income. Okay, and I think that's it for this week. Okay, well, thank you for joining us and we'll see you all next week. Thank you.